And we know that all things work together for good to them that love God, to them who are the called according to his purpose. Romans 8:28. In shadows a man walks, not in mercy but in rage. His name, Saul. He breathes threat and slaughter, hunting those who whisper Christ's name. In Saul's shadow, hope seems absent, yet the thread remains. His fury spreads like fire, consuming, relentless, unyielding. Saul's eyes burn with purpose, to erase, to silence, to dominate. His parchments carry death, his words sharpened like blades. To the faithful, Saul is terror. Their prayers rise like whispers in the wind. Darkness deepens, yet one fragile light still trembles. Yet even here, a pattern unseen, threads unseen, weaving toward destiny. And we know that all things work together for good. To them that love God, to them who are called, according to his purpose, not seen, yet certain. For the tapestry of God weaves threads both dark and light. What is broken becomes woven, what is lost, bound to purpose. For nothing is wasted in his design, every strand has place. Even Saul's path of fury is bound to a greater weaving, for the unseen hand guides even through storm and shadow. A tapestry is not seen from the back, only tangled knots and broken strands, yet from the front, the pattern is revealed. Colors joined in harmony. Dark threads are not wasted, they give depth to the brightness. Bright threads carry beauty. Together, they form the picture whole. What is hidden beneath, knots and tangles, still serves the design. In his purpose, both shadow and light have place within the weave. The master weaver chooses every strand, none placed by chance. Light threads shine brighter because of the dark beside them. From both shadow and brightness, the tapestry gains its depth. From above, the weave reveals order where chaos seemed to reign. What looked broken is part of the pattern, every strand chosen. The weaver's design is greater than any single thread can see. In 50 AD, Rome ruled the world, binding nations beneath its order. At that time, Corinth thrived, rich in trade. It was a place where cultures and faiths collided. In these cities, the new faith was tested, and its believers faced fire and the blade. Rome's power brought fear, yet in secret the faithful still gathered. Hidden beneath the empire's gaze, their faith became unshakable. Even under threat, the pattern of faith continued unbroken. The early believers carved their hope into stone, unseen and hidden from Rome's eyes. Their gatherings left traces, marks of courage etched in walls. Though hunted, their faith became a pattern Rome could not erase. Faith met in hidden rooms. The ink kept their witness alive. Stones remember names scratched into walls. These marks kept the story. Hidden letters passed hand to hand. The pattern endured beyond persecution. Rome sought control, yet faith spread quietly through daily trades. Hidden gatherings turned homes into sanctuaries under Rome's gaze. Letters carried hope across miles, binding scattered believers together. In Rome's shadows, prisons held those who would not deny their Lord. Yet even in chains, words of faith crossed walls and reached the free. These letters became lifelines, threads of hope through peril. Saul, proud Pharisee, became feared hunter of Christ's followers. He dragged men and women alike, sparing none who bore the name. Letters of authority drove him beyond Jerusalem's gates toward Damascus. With each mile north, Saul's zeal hardened, his path like stone beneath the desert Sunday. He rested briefly, his parchments, his weapon, each seal carrying Rome's weight. Yet above his road, unseen power gathered, poised to break his fury. On the road near Damascus, heaven split the sky, and Saul's fury met the divine light. Blinded by the light, he fell to the ground. The hunter, struck down by the very God he opposed. In blindness, Saul was led to Damascus, no longer master but broken vessel. For 3 days he neither ate nor drank, blind within Damascus's walls. Once the hunter, now helpless, led from room to room, a vessel waiting to be filled. Silence weighed heavy, his power broken, his heart remade in waiting. In another house, God spoke to Ananias, calling upon him by his very own name. A terrible fear gripped him, as he knows Saul as the destroyer of faithful Christians. Yet, God's call was very clear. Go to Saul, lay your hands on him, for he is one of my chosen vessels. Ananias came quietly, hands trembling with the command he scarcely believed. Ananias laid hands upon him. A warmth like dawn filled the room and sight returned. He rose, sight returned. The hunter became a child of the light, bewildered and new. Days earlier he came with warrants. Now he spoke the name he once despised. Confusion filled the room. The former destroyer of Christians now proclaimed Christ himself. And some, hearing him, started to believe. The first fruits of a vessel remade by God. Day by day his words grew stronger, his voice echoing with certainty. The Jews who heard him were confounded, unable to answer his wisdom. And so the one who once crushed the faithful Christians became their boldest voice. Anger burned among the leaders, whispers rising against the one they once hailed. A plan formed amongst the old leaders. The gates been watched, alleys guarded scouting, Saul's capture sworn. Yet the thread of God's design ran unseen, weaving escape through danger. Lowered in a large basket, Saul slipped past the watch, vanishing into the dark night. From Damascus he journeyed on, carrying letters with the words of Christianity, carrying the divine light further and afar. Toward Jerusalem he went, no longer a hunter, but now a herald of Jesus Christ. When he entered Jerusalem, fear shadowed every step he made. His name still struck terror. The disciples shrank back, doubtful. Was this a snare, the hunter masked as brother? Only Barnabas spoke for him in the community, daring to vouch for the truth of Saul's change. In Jerusalem he suddenly spoke boldly, declaring that Christ is king in synagogues. Some believed, others clenched fists, anger kindled by his boldness. The threat sharpened, plots rose again, and death shadowed his steps. The Christian disciples, once afraid, now gathered to shield him from harm. They led him through narrow streets, every corner heavy with threat. By night they brought him to a gate in Jerusalem, sending him away to safety. From Jerusalem, where they sent him off, he traveled to his home, back to Tarsus, the city of his youth. In his absence the church drew breath, walking in the fear of the Lord and comfort of the Spirit. And the church multiplied, spreading outward, like threads of light across the land. Looking back, every thread, dark or bright, was woven by his hand. All things had worked together for good, for the called according to his purpose. From darkness to light, from hunter to herald, the tapestry of God's intent is complete. God's tapestry is not ancient only, it is woven still in us, today. Each trial, each joy, each silence, every strand finds its place. The pattern is unseen in the moment, yet radiant in the hand of the weaver. For those who love God, even broken strands are redeemed into beauty. And so the divine tapestry shines, darkness turns to light, sorrow into song. The same God who wove Saul's path so he could become the apostle we now know as Paul, weaves ours, unseen yet unbroken. In hardship, in silence, even in the dark strands, God is always present. Not to make things easy, but to guide and support us. In joy, in blessing, in bright strands, God's design is revealed. One day the whole pattern will also be clear to you, every strand redeemed. Until then, we walk guided by our faith, held fast by the weaver of all things, God, Jesus, the Holy Spirit, as it is laid out in Romans 8:28 to us. And we know that all things work together for good to them that love God, to them who are the called according to his purpose. Subscribe to the channel and help us spreading the gospel throughout the world. Watch our Explained video playlist for more biblical insights on Christian living now and then. Leave a comment below and tell us what your golden thread moment was.